Hello and welcome back to the Betfair Trading Community YouTube channel. I've got a really good video for you today. We're going to do something different. You know that what we do here, we dive into the smartest betting strategies and explore how data-driven insights can give you an edge in the world of sports betting. I'm Martin and today we're talking about an incredibly effective strategy that has proven to be very profitable over time. Of course, no guarantees that will continue, but certainly a very promising start. Laying the second favourite in jumps racing. Now, you may or may not know, we have a sister site called lightspeedstats.com. At the moment, we are running a 50% off the first month offer. So this really is, if you've got any interest in horse racing or trading horses, this really is a great opportunity for you to go and try out the software and see why it can actually elevate your trading game and make you good at horse racing trading. And if you are already good, it can make you even better. I'm going to actually show you an example of this strategy and show you why it works. And so we'll go over and do that in a minute. But first, I want to explain a little bit more about the strategy itself. So this isn't just another theory or back-fitted model that looks great on paper but falls apart in reality. This has been backtested. I'm going to show you the backtest in a minute. It's statistically sound approach and it has consistently delivered profits. And to take it to the next level, we're going to discuss, like I say, how Lightspeed Stats software is a game changer for executing this strategy on Betfair. So let's get into it. Why does laying the second favourite on horse racing work? If you've been around betting markets for any length of time, you'll know that favourites tend to be overbet. But while the first favourite gets most attention, the second favourite often carries an inflated price as well, making it a prime candidate for laying. There's a few theories as to why this could be. I think one of the reasons is that people look at the favourite and think, well, that's quite a short price. Maybe I'll just go for the second favourite because they've got a good chance and they're a bit bigger odds. But in jumps racing, this effect is even more pronounced. Why? Because unpredictability plays a huge role. Longer race distances, challenging obstacles, variable track conditions make it difficult for horses to run to their exact rating every race. As a result, second favourites are often vulnerable. Their odds don't accurately reflect their true chance of winning. Studies have shown that laying the second favourite over a long-term sample produces a steady profit. I'm going to show you proof of this in a minute, especially when you have the right filters in place. What's the key takeaway here? That market consistency overvalues the second choice, making it a fantastic opportunity for layers. Let's get on to the Lightspeed Stats software because this is what I'm really excited to show you. So if you come over here to the strategy builder, you can actually see that we've got the strategies up here. And I'll just move my head out of the way a little bit here. I've got the lay second favourite jump strategy here. Now, if any of you are members of Lightspeed Stats and you want this strategy, you want a copy of it, just get in touch with me. I'll send it over. You can upload it to your own strategies. Very simple to do. I've called this one no backfit, as you might be able to say here, although it's quite small on the screen. What this means is that I've done no backfitting on this strategy. I have literally just laid second favourites in jumps racing with a couple of very minor tweaks, which I'll show you. And then I've got one that is backfitted and that I'm testing through. And I'll just show you an example here. Quite a little bit of, quite a few filters here. But we've basically picked out what's worked best and refined the filter using that. But what I want to show you is the version that isn't backfitted. Because I think you'll find it interesting just how much a really basic filter like this can do well as a strategy. And it kind of shows that because I always think if you start your strategy from a base of a profitable strategy already, you can only improve it. And the great thing is that you can either decide I'm going to make some tweaks, try and improve it, or you can just use the original one. So as you can see here, the literal only thing we have chosen is jumps races. Now, you could take this a bit further and get rid of chase races because I know for a fact that they don't make money using this strategy, but I've even kept that in for the sake of those who hate the idea of any kind of backfitting. So we're going to run this through and we're going to look at some of the results. Now, I'm using a £1,000 bank here and £1 lay stakes. Now, you could put this up to like £5, something like that. But we are laying at quite high odds, and I'll show you that in a bit. So that's the reason I suggest actually starting with minimum stakes here and running it through. Usual commission, we're not hedging our trades, so there's no, you can see here, there's no trade. And then we're going to look at the customized results. So let's run the strategy, we'll look at the results. Hang on, I'll just show you place your bets as well. So we're laying, as we know, between odds of 3 and 12. Okay, the reason is that a second favourite below 3 just isn't likely to be profitable. A lot of the time it's going to be pretty much a 2-horse race if that's the case. The other thing is that we're going for the betting window of 10 minutes here, so between 10 minutes and the race start, a fairly standard betting window to use, but you could experiment with that, you could change those. I haven't done a great deal on that, I'm just quite happy with the one we've got. And also we're only laying up to odds of 12, that's where I'm comfortable laying. Some of you guys might not be comfortable laying at those odds, not really a problem, and I'm going to show you why in a minute, how you can actually change that. So let's run this strategy and then have a look at the results. Okay, so once that's finished loading, here we go. So profit, £793 profit to £1 stakes. Pretty incredible, right? Now, what I will say, when you scale that, you know, at what point are you going to be comfortable laying at odds of 12? Now, again, you could reduce the odds you use, and I'll show you why that is not actually an issue in a bit. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how much you're going to want to scale. I could maybe lay this at a £5 and feel quite comfortable. Anything higher than that, you're going to be laying, you know, more than 55 quid per trade. When you have a real downswing, you know, you're going to be looking at a rough downswing. So that's always going to be one of these things, especially with a non-back fitted strategy where you're going to expect a little bit more of a roller coaster. But let's go down here. So we can see here the strike rate is 80%, brilliant. Expected value 5 pence per trade. 89% ROI, sorry, 0.89% ROI. And again, no backfitting here. Just basically looking at second favourite in jumps races. Okay, so let's scroll down. As you can see, the graph is actually quite a roller coaster until we get to December 2022, where it kind of takes off. Why is this? Well, in my opinion, so I'll get that out of the way for you. In my opinion, it's COVID, right? We see this with loads of strategies that are doing well now, where they really kind of were up and down, or they struggled during COVID, and now they're shooting up. The opposite happened as well. So a lot of the strategies we created when we first produced the software during COVID started to tank when the world went back to normal. I don't think this is particularly a surprise or something that should shock us, but we can see here that you can see the months have been very up recently, but they were up and down to start with. That said, even at that low point, when you get to December 2022, you're still not in an awful position. But what I'm going to show you here, which is really interesting, is the month to month. Because if you look at May, so if we go to May, you might be able to see this, so I'll highlight it, make it a bit easier. 76-point loss, that is big, right? So if you're using a 100-point bank, 76-point loss, okay, you would have recovered from it because you would have made that profit. Well, you'd have already been 84 points up in the first month. But that is why you don't want to be laying in this kind of situation for huge money. Because, you know, if you're going to take a 70-point loss and you're using, even say £10 stakes, that's 760 quid, right? Now, on the flip side, you could say, yeah, but I would have made 840 in the first month. Okay, great, but are you going to be the kind of person that can accept that kind of roller coaster? I don't think many are. One option to this is that you could lay to liability instead of laying to stake, and that is not a bad idea. But as we scroll down, you can see that, again, there was a 72-point loss in December. But as we get to the other months, you can see that it was much better. And actually, it's been on a very good run. Although this month you would be, let's have a look, 17 points up this month. So not bad at all, right? And like I say, you've seen there is really minimal backtesting involved. I do want to, so these are the kinds of things you can look at: course, going, class. There's loads of different things. Let's just look at race type, because I think that most people would agree that's not really backfitting. We could get rid of Chase quite happily here. It clearly doesn't make money. 7,000 trades and it's 70 points down. Okay, that would improve you, and suddenly you're looking at something that will be having around the 1.8% ROI instead. So that's just a really quick way to massively improve the strategy. And the one thing I really want to show you here, as I said, is entry price. Now, what's interesting here is that every entry price has made money and has done pretty well. Okay, you can see here. So the profit is the second column. So this column here. If I scroll up, you see, look, P&L. Okay. Now you can see that every price range has made money. So one thing you could do is you could go, well, I don't want to trade, 12. I don't want to trade 10 to 12. I don't want to trade, 9 to 9. Whatever your minimum is, you could go, well, I only want to trade from 3.0 to, say, 8.0. Well, you'll do really well still because every single one of those has made money. So this is something that's interesting to me because you're looking at a strategy just at a really base level and going, wow, it's making this. I could adapt this, change it slightly to what I want, and I wouldn't really be backfitting, and it could still make good money, and I could change the odds to suit me. Whatever you're comfortable with laying at, that's really important when you're trading. And again, how do you find this information? How do you test this stuff? How do you forward test it? Well, the Lightspeed Stats software. Again, if you've been thinking at all about horse racing or getting involved with horse racing trading, you really need to try it. And now is your best opportunity. Lightspeed Stats is 50% off. And you can go and, like I say, if you sign up and you want this strategy, let me know and I will send it to you. You'll be able to upload that to your strategies all by yourself. So let's recap. Laying the second favourite in jumps racing is a statistically sound strategy that exploits inefficiencies in the betting market. It's not about gut feeling or guesswork, it's about cold hard data, and that's really important. You don't want to be using gut feeling and you don't want to be guessing. With Lightspeed Stats, as I've shown you, you can refine this approach to maximize profits whilst minimizing your risk. And that's something you should always be thinking about. If you're serious about making betting work for you rather than against you, this is a strategy worth considering. So that's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed the discussion, be sure to subscribe, comment, if you want to get involved with that. I'll leave a link to Lightspeed Stats in the description. So if you want to go and try it out, half price first month. So you're going to get a really cheap option to try this out and see how good it is just for yourself. And if you want to learn more about Lightspeed Stats and how we can help you take your betting to the next level, check out lightspeedstats.com. Until next time, stay sharp and bet smart.